How far would you go for beauty? History shows fashion has meant pain, power, and sometimes madness. Let's explore some of the strangest trends, no matter where or when. Foot binding in ancient China. For over 1,000 years, Chinese women wrapped their feet tightly from a very young age, often starting around 4 or 5 years old. Their toes were bent under and pressed to break the arches, shrinking their feet to about 3 inches, a look called lotus feet. This painful process was seen as a symbol of beauty, elegance, and high social status. Women with bound feet were considered more desirable for marriage, especially in wealthy families. This tradition came at a high cost. Many women suffered lifelong disabilities, infections, and difficulty walking. Despite the agony, foot binding persisted for centuries, deeply rooted in Chinese culture and social expectations, until it was finally outlawed in the early 20th century. Ohaguro, the art of blackened teeth. For centuries in Japan, blackened teeth weren't seen as unusual. They were a symbol of beauty, adulthood, and social status. The tradition, known as Ohaguro, involved dyeing the teeth jet black, often after a person reached maturity or got married. The black color was achieved by applying a special mixture made primarily of iron filings dissolved in vinegar, which was painted carefully onto the teeth. This not only gave a striking, glossy black finish, but also helped protect the teeth from decay. Ohaguro was especially popular among aristocrats, samurai women, and married women. While it might seem strange to us today, it was a deeply rooted cultural practice that lasted over 1,000 years before gradually fading in the late 19th century. In the 14th century, a bizarre fashion trend swept through Europe: poulaines, or pointed shoes. The tips of some shoes extended up to 2 feet, around 60 centimeters, curling forward in extravagant spirals. The longer the tip, the higher the social status, or so it seemed. These shoes weren't just impractical. Walking was a challenge, climbing stairs even more so, and tripping over your own footwear became a common hazard. The church and moral authorities saw them as symbols of vanity, pride, and excess. In 17th century Europe, nobles and royals showed off their wealth and status with huge, elaborate wigs coated in white powder. This powder, often made from starch or other white substances, gave the wigs their signature pale, matte look. These powdered wigs were so big and heavy that they sometimes weighed several pounds, and as people moved or sat down, fine powder would often fall onto their clothes or nearby surfaces. Alongside the wigs, they applied thick makeup containing toxic lead to create smooth, porcelain-like skin. In the 18th century, powdered wigs reached absurdly extravagant proportions. Some soared over a foot high, stacked with curls, rolls, and even tiny decorations like ships or gardens. The massive hoop skirts. In Victorian England, women's fashion featured enormous hoop skirts called crinolines. These metal or whalebone hoops expanded dresses into wide, bell-shaped silhouettes that could reach up to 6 feet in diameter. While these skirts created a dramatic and elegant look, they often made moving around difficult. Women wearing crinolines had trouble fitting through narrow doorways or tight hallways. In fact, there are stories of women getting stuck trying to pass through small doors because of their wide skirts. Even more dangerous, the large skirts were highly flammable. There are documented cases where women's dresses caught fire from candles, fireplaces, or lamps, leading to serious injuries and, sadly, even death. Despite these dangers, crinolines remained popular for decades as symbols of wealth and social status, showing just how far fashion trends pushed comfort and safety aside. Toxic saris. In the 19th century, with the introduction of synthetic dyes, traditional Indian saris and garments were transformed into vibrant shades of green, purple, and other striking colors. While these colors made the fabrics more eye-catching and fashionable, many of the dyes contained toxic heavy metals and carcinogens that posed serious health risks to the wearers. At the time, people were mostly unaware of these dangers and saw these brightly colored saris as symbols of modernity and wealth.
Which one of these fashions surprised you the most?